Hello guys, welcome back. In this video, we are going to explore Hive library and how to use it with Flutter. Hive is a lightweight and fast NoSQL database for Flutter and Dart with a focus on simplicity and easy of use. Let me give you some great news. You can join our Flutter community on Telegram. Simply join this group to stay in contact with other Flutter developers, to learn from each other, and to become a better Flutter developer. So don't forget and join now. This is Hive page on pub.dev and I will open Hive documentation. So as you can see, the first step is add dependencies to pub/spec file. So first I copy these lines and paste them in pub/spec file. And for version, I set any keyword like this. This means that any versions that match the Flutter and Dart versions will be downloaded. And for downloaded, it is enough to write Flutter pub-get in terminal and enter like this. So great. As you know, we are going to create a to-do list app, and for storing our data, we are going to use Hive. So this app is going to be very simple. Each task will have just a title and another parameter named isComplete, which tells us if the task is complete or not. Now we need to create to-do item model class. This class actually is going to become our table in database. So first, I create a new file called todo_item.dart. So now here, first I'm going to create a new class called todo item. Great. Now here, the first thing we have to do is define our fields. As you know, we have two fields called title and isCompleted. So first I define title and then I will define isCompleted and it must be Boolean. Great. Now we need to create Hive adapters. These adapters define how your data models are serialized or deserialized and stored in Hive. For this, if we look at the Hive document, we will see that we must use the Hive type annotation and set type ID for it. So I do it like this. And in the next step, annotate all fields which should be stored with Hive field. And because the isCompleted default value should be false, I set its default value to false using default value parameter in Hive field. And finally, to generate the to-do item adapter, first we must put part todo_item.g.dart in the last line. Note that the name of this file must be exactly the same. Then run this command on terminal. Great. In the next step, we need to create to-do service file. In this file, we are going to create a class called to-do service, and in this class, we are going to implement CRUD function, which will be updating, reading, adding, and deleting function. So first, I create a new file called the to-do service.dart, and here first I create a new class named to-do service. Now here we need to create a box. But what is the box? First, let's go back to the Hive document, and yes, here we have an explanation about the boxes. We can say that boxes are like tables in other databases. like SQLite or other databases. So it is very simple and there is no problem with that. So back to the VS Code. So first I define a private field called the box name and I set its value to the box. You can set whatever you want, but it is better to relate it to your adapter class name. In the next step, we need to create this box. To do this, we have to use openBox method. So first I create a get method using get keyword. Great. Then using Hive and openBox, I create to-do box. Great. Here also we can use type parameter that specifies the type of the values in to-do box. So we want to store to-do item in to-do box. We can specify that like this. Great. And also we can specify the return type of this method. That should be box to do item. Great. Now it's time to create CRUD functions. So first I want to start with create function. For this, I define a new method called add item. Actually, in this method, we will be able to store to-do item in to-do box. So, as you know, we need to take to-do item parameter in this method. So, I set to-do item here. Great. Now here, first we need to get to-do box and store it another variable, for example box, and wait and get box. I should convert it to the async. And here by using add, I think it is an add, or maybe sorry, yes, this add method, we can store to the item. Great. And this is a async functions, and this is better to put a wait before it. Great. Now let's move on next function. In the next function, we have to implement reading data from the database. In this function, we will be able to fetching to-do items that store in the to-do box. So first I define a new method. Return type of this method should be list of to-do items, because we want to fetching all the to-do items that are stored in the to-do box database. Get all to-dos. It should be async. And here again we need to get to-do box database like this. And return box dot value dot tools. Great. In the next step, we have to implement delete function. In this function, we will delete to-do item that we want. So first I define a new method called delete to-do. And as you know, this method should take an index of Todo item that we want to delete from the database. And again, we need get Todo box. And wait box dot delete add index. Great. And in the last step, we need to implement update function. In this function, we have to update to the item that we want. And as you know, in this app, we just need to update is completed field. It means that when a task is completed, we have to update its value to true. And when a task is not completed, we have to update its value to false. So first, let me define a new method. Named update is completed, and it should be async. And first, let's get in to the box like this. And now here, so as you know, this method should take to the item that we want to update it. So great. And as I said, we just need to update its completed value. Great. And in the last line, we just need to use box.put function. And great. Here we have to pass index, and this index is index of this Todo item that we want to update it. So as you know, this method should take another parameter called index. Great. And we just need to set Todo item here. Great. Here we are done. In the next step, we can move on the UI section and implement a simple UI. So first, let's go to the main.dart file. Here, according to the Hive documentation, we need to initialize Hive database using hive.init Flutter extension. So I copied this line and pasted here before the run app and import hive_flutter.dart package. And as you know, this method is future, so we need to use async and here await keyword. Great. And in the next line, we need register Todo item adapter class. This class that registered using build_runner command. So we can register this class using hive.register adapter and set Todo item adapter. Great. And now I want to display Todos that are stored in the Todo box. So for this, as you know, we need to access to this function here, and for this we need to create an instance of Todo service class. So first here I define an instance of Todo service, and I make it private like this, and we just need to remove this const here and also here. Great. And now to use get all todos method, we have to use feature builder here. The reason we have to use feature builder is that this method is future and we have to wait until the data is ready. So let's back to the main.dart file, and here I remove container, and instead of, I'm going to use future builder like this. This method takes a required parameter called builder, but first of all let's pass this method to the future parameter here. I'm using this instance and calling get all todos. Great. And in the builder method we need to return a widget. So according to the Flutter documentation, we can do it like this. So I'm going to copy this line and paste it here like this, and just pay attention to this parameter here. This is a string, but we need to change it to the return type of this method. It means that we need to change string to the list of to-do item. So I'm going to change it to do item. Great. Now here we need to return a widget, but before returning widget we need to check that fetching the data from the database is finished and data is ready. Otherwise we need to display a loading. So to check that, we can use this snapshot here and access to the connection state and check that if connection is equal to the done, it means that data is ready, and this execution of this method is finished and return the data and data is ready. So if snapshot connection state is done, where is the done here? I think we no snapshot connection state is equal to connection state is done. Great. So, and here I'm going to return a class that we will create it later. So return, and I will name it for example to-do list page. It doesn't matter. To-do list page. We will create it later. So, and as I said, when the data was not ready, we need to display a loading. And so here, else return, for example, circular progress indicator. Great. And just add const keyword here. Great. Now let's go ahead and create this class. So here I'm going to create a stateless class like this, and I named it to-do list page. Great. And add const keyword here. So now here let's implement a simple UI. First of all, I want to display an app bar. So for this, instead of return placeholder, we need to return scaffold, and inside scaffold, I set up bar like this, and great. In the next step, I want to display a float action button here, and by using this float action button, we will be able to open a dialog, and inside that dialog, we will add new task. So I do it like this. As you can see now, we have a float action button here, and if I click on this button, we will see this dialog, and inside this text field, we will write task title, and then by click on this add button, we will create a new task, and we will store this task on Todo box database. So go ahead. By clicking on this button, we need to save this task on the Todo box. For this, we need to call this add item function and pass this task as Todo item to this function, and in this function, we will be able to register or maybe save this task on the Todo box. So for this, first of all, we need to create an instance of Todo service, and like this one here. So I just copy this one and then paste it here like this, and just remove cons keyword here and also here. Great. And in onPressed, first we need to create an instance of Todo item, then pass that Todo item to this add item method here. So first I define a new instance of Todo item called, for example, Todo. Great. So now here we need to pass this parameter to the Todo item. We can set is completed value to false, and this means that the default value of is completed is false. For title, we need to access this text that we have written in this text field. For example, we need to access this text here. So for this, we have to create a controller, text controller, and set that text controller in the text field controller parameter. So I define a new text editing controller like this, and then pass this text editing controller to this controller here. Great. Should not be const. Great. And then we can access to this text here by using text editing controller dot text. And finally, we just need to call add item method from the Todo service class. This method is future, and so we need to use await and async here. So pass this to this add item method. Great. And finally, after click on this add button here, we need to pop this dialog. For this, we can use navigate.pop method. And in the last step, I want to display data that is stored on the Todo box in the body. And I want our body to refresh based on the data that is stored in the Hive database. So for this, According to the Hive documentation, we can use value listenable builder. So I'm going to copy this part of the code and then implement a simple UI, and finally we can analyze it together. As you can see, we are listening for the to-do box changes, and in the item count, we have set length of the data that is stored in the to-do box, and in the next line, we are fetching a task based on the index, and then we have a simple list style with the to-do title and a checkbox to the is completed, and also we have a delete button to the delete task. To test, I'm going to create a new task. For example, Flutter guys task, and click on add button. Great. As you can see, we have Flutter guys task in the to-do box, and now we can, for example, change is completed value using update is completed function, and change is completed value to true like this, or maybe we can delete this task using delete to do function, and by using this button here. For example, I'm going to delete this task like this. As you can see, we no longer have the Flutter guys task in the to-do box. Great. Guys, this is very simple and I hope you enjoy. See you in the next video.